Hey guys, good morning. So welcome to the morning market mixer. So this is going to be a series, it's a free series, part of Trade Thirsty's March Madness. And so we're going to be here the entire month of March, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time every single day, and Monday to Thursday at least, no Friday sessions. So the sessions are going to be roughly 30 minutes long, and they're going to be dedicated to me giving you my total market overview, the trade setups that we see, and any live trading in SPY if the opportunities come to us. So this is the morning market mixer, and it's by Trade Thirsty. Today is Monday, March 2nd. Let's get going. So I thought I'd introduce myself a little bit. So just to get started, my name is Russell Barbour, and so I've been trading for about 12 years now. And I started, I think, actually more than 12 years. It was about 2014 when I started. And I started basically to try and make some extra money. So I was trading, I was working as a research scientist, and I was trying to make some extra money on the side. And of course, like a lot of traders, I quickly lost a lot of money early on in my career. So I lost about $20,000 chasing the market, getting up at the crack of dawn every day to try and make some extra money to fuel the household that I was running. My wife had a lot of student loan debt, and we were basically trying to make ends meet. So there's a lot of over trading, oversizing, a lot of like emotional trading in those early days. And so what I found is really over time that consistency and mechanical rules were really the key to my success going forward. So nowadays, basically what I do is I use intraday SPY options, in particular 0 DTE options, and basically one quality setup per day with very clearly defined entries and exits, and I stick to really rigid risk management. So that's a little bit about me. Hopefully you guys can type in the chat, say hello, and let's get going with the session. So I'm going to show you some resources and tools today. The first one is TradingView. Hopefully you guys are familiar with TradingView. That's the charting platform that I use. We're going to look at Earnings Hub for earnings and news. We're going to look at SPY levels, and I'm going to give you a cheat sheet in just a moment here, and we're going to go through the cheat sheet together right here. So you'll see the QR code on your screen there. So if you want to basically get this cheat sheet, which is my 0 DTE strategy, all you have to do is scan that QR code with your phone and pick it up there. So I'm going to follow along each session with the cheat sheet. I'm going to do key levels, setup criteria, entry and exit rules. We're going to talk about SPY ATM options in a little bit here as well. It's a premium service that I run. We're going to talk about everything on the cheat sheet. So I'll give you guys a moment just to get the cheat sheet up, and I will post a link in the chat as well, so you can actually see the cheat sheet if you don't want to do the QR code here. So let me just type it in. It's tradethirsty.com/MMM for morning market mixer. So that's the cheat sheet right there. So it should be in chat for you guys, and we can go through it together. So let me just switch to the cheat sheet. It's the ZTE cheat sheet right here. Yeah, so this is my cheat sheet. Basically, it's all about 0 DTE trading. So I'm guessing most of you guys know what 0 DTE trading is, but for those that don't, or have never tried it before, basically 0 DTE stands for 0 days to expiration. So these are contracts that expire the same day, obviously, and they're really useful for short-term price movements within a single intraday trading session. So unlike longer dated options, 0 DTE contracts lose value rapidly, so we don't want to be in trades for too long. This is because of time decay or theta. And so basically you need to have really good timing, and you have to make sure you're timing the momentum really, really well, and that you understand where the market's going to go. And that's what we're going to talk about today in this session. So all 0 DTE trading is by definition intraday. So you're really talking minutes or hours at the most, usually more like 20, 30 minutes. And basically we're looking for breakout trades, reversals, trend recontinuation, and volatility-based scalps. And so we're looking at small movements in SPY or the Qs, and these can create really big percentage gains or losses. So you have to be a little bit careful with these 0 DTE trades. think a lot of people that have traded these will understand what I'm talking about right here. So we're focusing on high because the high liquidity, obviously, it's one of the most heavily traded instruments out there, and we get really tight spreads because of that and really fast order execution. But of course, risk management is absolutely essential with this type of trading. So you want to trade small position sizes. Make sure you're not trading more than you can afford to lose. Make sure you have predefined stops, and make sure you have a really good stop loss limit for the day so you don't get completely blown up. Make sure you're sizing appropriately, because that's one of the biggest mistakes I see new traders with CODTE options do, is they'll over position themselves and they'll get into a lot of problems blowing up their account. So you got to be really careful. So a quick summary, basically the potential benefits here are that you really don't use a lot of capital. So basically you've got this really low capital compared to shares, and you have fast moving contracts. The risk is very limited because you're not paying a lot of premium, so you've got to be really careful. There's rapid time decay, like I was saying, large price swings and fast losses. There's a lot of emotional decision making under pressure. Choppy markets can basically erode option value really, really quickly. So this is a cheat sheet. Basically, we're going to look at 10 a.m. for preparation time. We're going to look for VWAP and key resistance, support and resistance areas. We're looking at the opening range from 9:30 to 10. We're looking at using the full candle wicks. Avoid predicting directions early. Tight range suggests a possible trendy, which I think we have today. And basically we have a bias check around this time to see if we're holding one side of the VWAP or clearing higher highs or lower lows. So yeah. So this is the high probability setups. Break and hold outside the range is one of the things we're looking at. Break and retest is one of my favorite, and also the failed breakout reversal as well. So one thing about the risk management rules is we want to make sure we're trading inside the middle. We're not trading in the middle of the opening range. That's a big mistake. We want to skip trades due to heavy chop, use any stops back inside the range, and reduce size if it's unclear where the market's going. So yeah, so we've got to be careful of those things. Anyway, let's switch back to the slides here and keep going. So hopefully you got your cheat sheet. Just a quick overview of SPY before we get started looking at the actual market. SPY was actually the first ETF that was launched in 1993. First ever US ETF listed. Obviously it's an exchange traded fund, and it tracks the S&P 500 and is #1 liquidity of all the ETFs globally. So this is the agenda for today. Basically, we're going to look at the SPY ATM alert from Friday. So it's the single trade alert service that I do. We're going to look at that and do a quick recap of that. Then we're going to look at the overnight market news and what happened on Friday and over the weekend. It's kind of crazy. We're going to look at market direction, opening range, and VWAP. We're going to look at key levels. We're going to look at volatility and see if there's any trade opportunities. So I mentioned the SPY ATM alert service. So this is a single alert that comes out at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time daily. And so this was actually the trade that happened on Friday. You can see that it was a put alert on the left here. This is in the Discord chat room. And so this happened at 10:30 Eastern time. And what happens is we give the strike of the put here, 686 puts, entry price and take profit with the stop loss at 138 right here. So it's pretty interesting to see what happened. And so you can see 9:30 right here. That's 10:30 Eastern time. I'm in Central time. We actually bought puts right here, and you can see what happened over the next couple of minutes. We dropped all the way down to the bottom of the candle right here, and this represented a 20% gain in just a few minutes there, a couple of minutes. So really nice trade on SPY ATM on Friday. It has an 80% win rate, so it's really good. And we've grown accounts over 100% over the last couple of years by doing this. So let's talk about some of the overnight news, some of the news from Friday. It's been a really interesting period for the market. Basically, Friday had inflation data, so this was pretty exciting. Well, depressing for some, I guess. And so the PPI came out, and basically it was a hot reading, and basically inflation is still a problem, right? So this is going to be an issue going forward, and that's what triggered a sell-off on SPX and SPY. So this was a hot reading that came out then. So inflation is still a problem. The core PPI reading was also a problem. People are taking profits because of this. SPY dropped 0.8%, with tech and growth leading the decline. So this was a risk-off reaction. And there was delayed rate cuts. Could mean that SPY could go lower from here as well. So it's definitely an issue. And so the AI disruption still weighs on the market, and so it's still an ongoing concern. But of course, over the weekend was the more concerning news, which was the fact that we have a war going on with Iran. Obviously, this is a huge deal for the market. The market gapped down overnight. And so first of all, on Friday we had inflation, and now it's the Iran war. Like we're not getting a break here. This is all bad for the market. So yep, Iran war going on. And then this morning we had a little bit of news of PMI. Really didn't change the market that much though, and it was about 9:45 Eastern time. And so there really isn't any earnings to talk about either. So that's kind of the news. The earnings, basically really nothing too exciting today. So I'm just going to switch to earnings hub here so you guys can see the earnings. Just let me switch. Just takes a second to come up here. There we go. All right, so this is basically the earnings for Monday today. So there's nothing after the close that's really important here at all. Riot if you're into crypto stuff, but really there's nothing that should move the market at all here. And really for the rest of the week, there's some consumer stuff like Target, but really nothing extraordinary for the market going forward at this point. So really nothing to worry about or to get excited about. There's no big names reporting earnings here at all. So let's have a look back at the slides here. So basically no major earnings. The market direction a little bit here. So this is going to be an overview of what's actually happening. So we're going to look at some charts here. Basically, I did this pre-market, so I was kind of looking at some things have changed a little bit. So this will be updated going forward. Basically, we had SPY below the 50 SMA, not currently holding the 100 SMA, although now it really has. So basically, the sticky inflation data makes rate cuts less likely in the immediate future. So the market's probably going to go down, although we're starting to see some really bullish action this morning, which was quite surprising. So I think we've regained the 100 SMA. We'll look at that in just a second here. And so traders probably becoming cautious into the next Fed meeting. So again, that's kind of putting bearish pressure on the market, even though recent price action is actually quite bullish. And so the next support is down at 675. VIX is at 2021 at the moment, actually, so it's changed a little bit. So let's go into the daily chart for SPY here and start looking at what's going on with SPY on the longer time frame before we start to get more into details of today's intraday moves. So looking at the chart here, you can see this is the daily chart. It's pretty simple. It's really not complicated at all. We've got two moving averages here. The green is the 50 SMA. The orange is the 100 SMA. And you can see that basically what happened this morning is we gapped down below the 100 SMA right here, which is pretty bearish. But look at this massive green candle we're forming at the moment. Absolutely phenomenal bullish price action here. And it'll be really interesting to see if we reject off 50 SMA up the green line here, or if we actually just plow right through it and put in a huge green candle like one of these guys back here. So you can see we did hold this support level, right, around 678. We did actually hold it quite well. You can see where the cursor is right here. However, if we do reverse, and things aren't looking that great for the market, let's be honest, we could actually end up going back testing December's low on the left here, down at 671-ish right here. That's December 17th. So we do have that possibility. So we've got to be a bit wary here. This bullish action is a bit unexpected for me. Like I wasn't expecting to see this hold this so well and so quickly, given that we have all these geopolitical fears and the inflation as well. But I guess it makes some sense, right? We've got the support level around 678 sort of region. So yeah, so that's kind of an overview of the daily chart on SPY. In order to get this in more detail, though, we need to go to lower time frames. So let's have a look at what else I've marked up here for the day. So this is the market direction. So let's switch to the expected move. So if we look at SPY here, if we go into the 30-minute time frame, let's see where we're at, 30 minutes. You can see our first 30 minutes was a bullish candle, really nice bullish candle right here. I'm just going to get rid of the SMAs at the moment because we don't really need it. So if we mark the opening range here, basically you can just draw a line at the bottom of the candle, all the way over here. So that's the start of the opening range. And if we mark this up right here, so that's our opening range. So this is very, very bullish. You can see how we're breaking out with significant volume here, breaking out through the top of the opening range. So this indicates the market is pretty bullish today. So it's quite interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting. We drop down to the 5-minute chart here. You can see exactly what you want to see for a bullish breakout. We're a little bit late to the party here. So we're just a little bit above the top of the 30-minute here. The next important lines is the expected move. So I calculated the 0 DTE expected move from the at the money straddle before we started here. So I'm just going to mark that in as well, so you guys can see where the expected move is. Of course, that changes throughout the day, but if we're dealing with 0 DTE, we're not too worried about what it does later on in the day, because the goal is to be in and out for trade pretty quickly. So let me just check the values here that I calculated earlier. So for the expected move, I have 678. So basically we have a $4.41 expected move. It means it can go up or down by $4.40. So I'm going to mark in the 678.6. $678.6. So that's that one. And then the top of the expected move is going to be 687. So we're going to move this guy to 687, which is about there. So this is useful because we've got this nice breakout. You've got to be a little careful though, because this is expected move where you'd expect the SPY to stay within about 68% of the time for the day. So it doesn't mean it can't break through here, but that would be a profit target, right? If you're going to take a trade on a retest here, this would be the profit target for the expected move up here. It's one thing that we take into account. So if this comes back down and retests this upper range, then that could be a chance to actually go long here up until about the expected move, or at least until you have a 20% profit or so. That's kind of how I at least. So that's the expected move and the breakout here. Really nice technical breakout. So I'm excited about that. We'll see if a trade presents itself in a little bit here. So go back to SPY here for a sec. Actually, let's go and look at VIX. So the interesting thing about VIX today is that it spiked because of the Iran. So it went as high as 23. And so at 23, like that's starting to signal fear, right? That's starting to get a little bit scary in terms of like the volatility. But as the market opened, we saw this drop all the way back down to 21. So but it's not the end of the world here. It's stayed, but we're okay with that right now. One thing that's interesting that I found to be true is when wars kick off, you get this volatility spike, but as they continue, you actually end up with lower volatility than pre-war. It's an interesting phenomenon. It's proven true over decades. And so if this can, you can expect to see volatility actually decrease significantly. But then you've got this fear that there's going to be volatility spikes, right? That some missiles are going to hit something important and we're going to see a volatility spike. It makes trading kind of difficult in these environments. So it's definitely something to be a little bit wary about with the war going on. So anyway, let's go back to SPY here and see if there's a trade opportunity. One thing I want to do is add some key levels here to give us a little bit more guidance. So I'm just going to go back to the SPY chart. I'm going to try and zoom here a little bit more as well. So what I'm waiting for, a retest of this upper range here. So pretty simple trade. If we get a retest into here and then a move back up off this level, then signify a continuation to something like this. If we don't get that in the next few minutes though, probably not worth taking a trade. So let me just turn on the SRX levels. This is a proprietary indicator that I use to try and help with these trades as well. It's based on options data, and they're extremely accurate. So I'll try and do this in a way that you guys can see it clearly, because this gets a little bit confusing. So we're not going to look at everything here. Just going to zoom in and just look at these carefully. So here's the red, which is our line that we're looking for the price to fall to, and then hold with a nice bullish candle, and then input, like potentially enter a trade there. The thing that worries me here is the next support, this blue line right here, is actually pretty far away, right? So we could actually end up dropping all the way down there. So it's not ideal. I'd like to see the upper range of the orb actually coincide with the resistance level, and that's not the case in today's market. So this is the 5-minute chart that we're looking at the moment. So we'll see what happens around here. But yeah, we have these different lines up here as well as the resistance lines, and the blue support lines right here. So we'll give this a couple of minutes to play out. It looks like we're getting that drop to the top of the orb here, the opening range breakout. We switch to the one, be a little bit easier. There we go. So top open range breakout here. Let's give it a couple of minutes here and then maybe take a trade on SPY options. If I do take a trade, I'll be looking at the 684 calls. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. So I'm just getting them loaded up in my brokerage right now. I'll just give it a few minutes. Not going to force anything. This actually looks pretty good though. If this closes bullish, then it might be time to go long. This could be a potential trade. I might miss it here though. Well, looks like it's reversing perfectly. I think I've entry there. That happened pretty fast. I'll give it another minute or so and see if it comes back down a little bit. If not, I might have been a little slow there. This would have been a really nice way off this top of the orb though. Yeah, it's the problem is getting the timing just right. I don't want to chase this too much. We do have upside to the expected move, but the pre-market high is also not that far above it, so there's not a lot of room here. So if this can pull back just a little bit but still print a green candle on the 1 minute, this might be a nice nice play. But isn't that amazing how well it respected the top of the opening range breakout? It wicked to it on this candle right here to within. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see what this guy does. Just kind of watching it here. See what it actually does here. Feel free to type in chat, guys, if you have any questions or comments about the market today. It's always good to share ideas. So the only thing about this that I don't like is it's broken the 8 EMA. So if this closes above the 8 EMA, I might actually pull the trigger for a trade here. It closed below it. Yeah, we're struggling a little bit. Momentum didn't build past that first bullish candle, unfortunately. There we go. If we can get a close above the 8 EMA here, I might, as long as it's not too far above it, I might try and take a trade here to get up to maybe the pre-market high, or maybe even the expected move. My target potential for a trade would be 20%. So I don't get greedy with these 0 DTE trades, and then a stop loss of 20% as well. Yeah, it looks like another potential close below the 8 EMA here. The problem is, like, you don't want to enter this trade unless it's got momentum, because you don't, the last thing you want is to go sideways. Another close there. Is to go sideways for an hour. Well, theta just eats up all your premium on your options. So I think I'm going to give it a miss for the day. We don't seem to be getting that much momentum, but this could be something for you guys to watch going forward. All right, so that's pretty much it for the day. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I do see a couple of questions here. So the doctor says, if you do take the trade, it's 0 DTE. Yeah, it is 0 DTE. That's basically what I do. So yeah, so basically it's a 0 DTE trade with at the money option, so delta about 50. And yeah, so it's something to look out for, guys. You can use those lines. Hopefully it's helpful for today. Before I go, I want to reshare the cheat sheet for you guys. So I should be able to just bring up the QR code here. Hopefully this just appears on your screen, just down the bottom here. Again, there we go. Again, the URL is tradethirsty.com/MM for Morning Market Mixer. And just a reminder, this is March Madness. We're going to be live every single day, Monday to Thursday, for the whole of March. So entire month of March, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Hopefully we can use this time together to really go through the market and set ourselves up for potential trades throughout the day, and also just to get a feel of the market for what's going on for the day. So yeah, so if you joined late, the cheat sheet's at the bottom, and you can review that before the next session, and that'll be tomorrow, 10 a.m., and I'll see you guys tomorrow.